Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Well, a new series of videos. So this, in case you hadn't guessed, this game is called Endless Sky. Not really sure what might give me that idea, but anyways, welcome back. This is a new series. We're going to be trying the Endless Sky game. It's a lot of fun, this game. I've played it before and I've completed the game essentially, although it never actually completes, which I'll get to explaining that in a minute. But anyways, yeah, I find it a lot of fun, and so hopefully some of you guys find it fun too. Anyways, so Endless Sky, I'm going to talk a little bit about the game, explaining the game and stuff like that, before we, get into it. And then, after we get into it and stuff, and then we'll do some stuff. Anyways, so this game, first of all, it's completely free. I'll explain a bit about what the game is in a second, but it's a completely free game, and it's even I think it's even open source and stuff like that as well. And you can get it on Steam if you use Steam, or you can get it a direct download from the guy's page, from the guy's website there. And you can make plugins for it and stuff like that. Yeah, you can see on the screen right there on the left, it says this game is open source. So that means you can edit the game and stuff like that. Anyways, so that's a little bit about the game. You can write plugins for it, or you can just play the game as it is. So what the game is essentially it's a lot of things in one, basically. So it's a space exploration game. It's kind of a business simulator, or a trading game or something like that. It's kind of like the Wild West in terms of you have to be your own protection against pirates, or I guess they didn't really have pirates in the Wild West. They were called something else. Or were they? I don't know. Maybe bandits or something. Anyways, but you have to be your own protection against pirates, so it's kind of like you're out on the Wild West and everything like that. Space exploration, business simulator. There's a whole storyline in this game as well. So, and then once you complete the storyline, you can keep playing as long as you want, kind of like the Minecraft achievement system, if you're familiar with that. And yeah, so it's a lot of fun. There's a whole storyline, and the storyline, you can make choices in the storyline, and the choices that you make affect the story. Some of them dramatically affect the story. Some of them affect the story only a little bit. It's it's really neat. So yeah, and there's a war that starts later. I'm gonna try not to spoil the game too much, but there's a war that starts later through some unfortunate incidents, and then you can choose whether to join the war, which side you want to join, although only one side has actually been written into the game so far, because the game is still in development. And yeah, and the choices you make dramatically affect the story and all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It is a single-player game, although because there are plugins for it and stuff, there might be a plugin to do multiplayer. I don't know. I haven't actually researched that before, so you might want to check that out if you're interested. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just trying to remember if I have said everything that I want to say about the game. But yeah, I said this before, but you can, as the story's done or whatever, you can keep playing the game. There's no official end to it. And as you can see on the right side of the screen there, that's the previous game that I was playing, which I've actually played over 500 hours of the game or something like that. And you can see it says credits, second line up from the bottom, it says credits 2.03 billion. So I've made over $2 billion or something like that in the previous time. But anyways, through the way you play the game, you can wind up playing as a merchant, or you can fight pirates, or you can be a pirate, or you can switch between different things or whatever. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's that. So anyways, I guess we are going to get started. And one thing I should say first is that this isn't it's not like I've completely seen all the game or whatever, although it kind of is, because since I have completed the game, completed the official storyline, because you can't actually complete the game, but since I've completed the game, they've added some updates which could change the early game a lot. I don't know that the story has actually changed, but just the way the map is laid out and stuff like that, it could change the way we play the early game quite a bit. So it's kind of new for me, probably new for you, and we're gonna go through this together. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyways, so here we go. Let's get on to it. So Endless Sky. So you can see on the left, it's got a whole bunch of information, a bunch of like copyright information or like whatever information about the game, random stuff. And then on the right, it's got information about what we have currently, like what we're currently doing. And the reason I'm explaining all of this is because, like, well, I'm explaining this anyways, but you can't actually see my mouse. So I'm going to need to do a lot more explaining of what's going on. So, like, for example, if I go like that, whoops, if I go like that, there we go. Then, or like that, it's not necessarily obvious what I've done. So I'm going to need to explain what I'm doing more. Anyways, on the right, information about your game and stuff. So we're going to click on load/save here. And you can see those are three different save on the left side of the screen, three different save files that I have. In the middle, that is actually for like version save and stuff like that, so it automatically saves every time you land on a planet, so it's nice. And it's got like 3 previous versions, so that if you dramatically mess something up or whatever, you can go back and fix it. So that's really nice. Anyways, so we're going to start with the left side. We need to actually create our game file that we're going to be doing, creating our save file. They call it pilots in this game. So you can see Handy Andy is what I had previously played as, and this is just another way of playing the story. And then Sir Somebody is another one that I was trying. So we're going to need to create a new one. Now, we can't just call it Handy Andy, I don't think, because it'll get very confusing as to which file is which and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, let's get started on the storyline, and let's figure that out after. So, storyline starts here. The bank's architecture is what you would have called futuristic back when you dreamed that the future would be less squalid than the present. And I'm going to try to get some voices that sound good. Anyways. Story above story of curves and spires and balconies, all in gleaming metal. A doorman stands by each of the heavy glass doors. You are wearing your very best clothes, but you feel shabby next to them. Them? It says a doorman stands by... Oh! Okay, I thought... So it says a doorman is standing there, and I feel shabby next to them, but it means the doors. It means... I don't know why you would compare clothes to doors. Anyways, that's it. Okay, let's keep going. But you feel shabby next to them. The loan broker's office is equally intimidating. Large computer monitors fill the walls with stock quotes and other information spilling down them almost too fast to read. You occasionally glimpse the names of places that you have only seen in movies. Aldebaran, Tarazid, Earth. Ooh, so we're not starting on Earth. We're starting like way farther away and stuff like that. The pen is heavy as lead, but glides almost without friction as you print your initials on the bottom of page after page of ominous legal documents and sign several dozen statements, notices, and agreements. The banker, a balding middle-aged man in a suit that you suspect costs more than the spaceship you are about to purchase. Okay, a spaceship is probably expensive. So, if the guy's suit costs more than a spaceship, like how could a suit cost more than a spaceship unless it's like, I don't know, made out of titanium or something? But then that would be armor, not a suit. Okay, anyways, that's an idea. Where were we? In a suit that you suspect costs more than the spaceship you're about to purchase, flips the pages past you quickly, uttering a curt, "Sign here. Now here," as he points to each page. He moves swiftly, mechanically. The only moment when he becomes truly animated is when he is explaining the truth in lending statement to you. "You are borrowing 480,000 credits, he says. I don't know where that voice came from. Okay. "You are borrowing 480,000 credits, he says, to be repaid over the course of 1 year. Your daily interest rate is 0.4%, which means that your daily payments are 2,503 credits, and by the end of the year, you will have paid 434,000 credits in interest. Sign here." He grins. Okay, so we got here. So we are apparently borrowing 480,000 credits to buy a ship, and with the interest is daily interest, and we're going to be paying, and if you don't know how interest and all that works, I'll explain it later. Now's not the time, but anyways, we're going to be paying like 434,000 credits above the regular cost of the ship in interest. Okay, anyways, well, I guess there's only one way to get a ship, so we'll have to do that. So you sign your name one final time. Okay, so first name, Handy. Last name, Andy. And unfortunately, this is exactly the same as our other profile. So I'm going to call it, you know what, why don't we call it, let's just add YT on the end. Nope, that's TY. Let's add YT on the end. There we go. For, that stands for YouTube, so that I know this is the one that I'm playing on YouTube. All right, let's go. So you sign your name one final time. First name, Handy. Last name, Andy. And then we got YouTube added. So let's click OK. The elevator is so well tuned that you do not even realize it is moving until it has deposited you back in the lobby. That sounds weird. So it's like the elevator, like, it sounds like it's like a claw that grabs you and picks you up and like carries you over or something and then drops you, deposits you on the lobby. Anyways, that's not what it means. So the elevator is so well tuned that you do not even realize it is moving until it has deposited you back in the lobby. But as you leave the bank, you are smiling. This crazy adventure suddenly feels real to you. You are going to do it. You are finally going to get off this planet. Compared to the bank, you feel much more at home in the shipyard, walking among the rusted out hulks and newer ships that gleam in the sunlight. You smell grease and dirt and rocket fuel. Wonderful smells. There are 3 ship models within your price range. Which one you choose will determine your future. Alrighty, so let's click done. So we got here 3 different ship models. So let's see, what do we want to get? So we can buy 3 different ships. So as you can see on the right, we have 480,000 credits. And let's see, these different ships, this one costs 349,000. So you can see there's a lot of different, there's a lot of text here. The middle column, the top line says cost, 349,000, and that's credits. And by the way, you can hover over all these things, and it will give you a little bit of information about them. So it says cost in credits. If you have sold any used, depreciated items today, you can buy them back for the same price you sold them for. That is more complicated stuff that we'll be getting to later. But for now, we just need to know cost 349,000. Down here, light freighter is cost 375,000. Or the Sparrow is a cost of 448,000. So that is a lot. Let's read what they have to say about them. Although Betelgeuse shipyards, or Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse? I think it's I don't know. Although Betelgeuse Shipyards produces other ship models as well, the majority of their profits come from the sales of the shuttle. This versatile ship serves equally well as a passenger transport or a cargo courier. It also happens to be the cheapest ship you can buy, which is capable of hyperspace travel. Shuttles are not designed to withstand combat of any sort, but they are fast and maneuverable enough to get out of harm's way if attacked by a larger, slower ship. Although they are typically unarmed, they have enough space for one weapon, which is the origin of the popular phrase, as useless as a blaster cannon on a shuttlecraft. Alright, so it sounds like shuttlecraft is no good for combat, except it's good for carrying passengers and cargo and stuff like that. Now let's check out the Interceptor. The Syndicate CT-50 Star Barge is little more than a cluster of cargo containers with an engine at one end and a cockpit on the other. It is a slow and ugly ship, but it can carry enough cargo to earn its captain a steady income, even in parts of the galaxy where it is hard to find passengers to carry, or courier missions. Because they often carry valuable, although it could be variable, because they often carry valuable cargo, and because they're too slow to evade any attackers, star barges are a common target of pirates. Okay, so the star barge is basically a cluster of cargo containers with an engine at one end and a cockpit on the other. So that's I suppose it works. It's slow. It can carry enough cargo to earn a steady income, even in parts of the galaxy where it is hard to find passengers to carry. Okay, so in parts of the galaxy where there are very few deliveries that you can make, it can carry enough that you can basically go through that part of the galaxy and not have to like keep making new deliveries all the time. Just do bigger deliveries. They're too slow to evade attackers, and they often carry valuable cargo. So they're a common target of pirates. Now, I want to survive as long as possible. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm gonna go for the Star Barge. I don't know, maybe. I'm gonna compare the speeds in a second. Interceptor. Sparrow. Okay. Classified as an interceptor rather than a fighter because it has its own hyperdrive instead of needing to be carried inside a larger ship, the Tarazed Sparrow is the smallest and cheapest combat ship available. Because of its limited cargo and passenger space, the primary way for a Sparrow pilot to pay the bills is by hunting pirates, or by becoming one. In either case, it is a perilous way to earn a living. Insurance reports indicate that as many as 2 out of every 3 first-time ship buyers who choose to pilot a Sparrow lose their ship, and often their life as well, within the first month of owning it. Aha! So, let's see. So this one is classified as an interceptor rather than a fighter because it has its own hyperdrive. So these ones, as you can see, let's check out the Star Barge. Let's go to on the right column. The bottom section says systems. It says hyperdrive. So the Star Barge has a hyperdrive, the shuttle has a hyperdrive. What it's talking about, it's comparing this to something called a fighter, which we'll get to later. So what I'm trying to say, stop getting tongue-tied. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that all of these start with hyperdrives, so we can get around, light speed, all kinds of different things, and it's nice. So, So it's the smallest and cheapest combat ship available. It's got limited cargo and passenger space. As you can see in the middle column, it's got 15 cargo space, and if we hover over it, it says, it doesn't say, but this is tons, basically. 15 tons of cargo space. And required crew / bunks is right below cargo space, and it says 1/2. The 1 is the required crew, and the 2 is the bunks. It matches up with where the text is right before it. Anyways, so it has 2 bunks. Required crew is 1. That would be the pilot, which would be me. So we can carry 1 passenger, 15 tons of cargo space in this thing, but it's also strong enough to withstand pirates to some degree, and your best bet for making money is to fight pirates. So, okay, so the question is, when I did this game before, I started with the shuttle. So I think I don't want to do that this time. I'm going to start with either the Star Barge or the Sparrow. Actually, I'm curious, what's the difference between Star Barge and shuttle for space? Cargo space on the shuttle is 20, and the bunks is 6 minus 1 for the captain, which is 5. So 20 cargo and 5 bunks. And then the Star Barge will hold 50 cargo, and it's got 2 spare bunks. So not as many bunks, but more cargo. And how slow is it, actually? Max speed of 240. You can see that on this line here. The fastest this ship can travel when using ordinary thrusters as opposed to an afterburner. So max speed is 240 versus the Sparrow, where the max speed is 576. Okay, that's good. That's definitely very good. And turning on the Sparrow is 87. These numbers, turning, it says 80.419, and it says 87.273. That's essentially you can see up here, you can sort of see, assume my cursor is the top left of the box that's floating around, because that's where it is. So you can sort of tell where I'm pointing. So up here, it says movement full / no cargo. So that's essentially, on the left side of the slash is when it's full, when the ship is full. And on the right side is when there's no cargo in the ship. So you can see the turning here. On the left side of the slash, it says 80 degrees per second, apparently. 80 degrees per second turning when it's full, or 87 degrees per second turning when it's empty. Max speed doesn't make a difference whether it's full or empty. And acceleration is same idea. So let's see, what's the turning on this one? Is 66 and 85. And this one is 80 to 87 turning. And actually, let's check upgradability. Outfit space is probably our biggest thing that we're looking for. So we got 130 tons of outfit space on the Sparrow. We have 130 tons in the Starbarge, and we have 120 tons in the Shuttle. And how do the cannons and stuff compare is another thing that I want to find out. So gun ports, 2 gun ports, and turret mounts, no turret mounts. So we can't carry any turrets. We can carry 2 guns, which the reason it says 0/2 is, and by the way, you learn all this as you're going. Like, you can just sort of play around, just make a decision and go with it, and you sort of learn as you're going. But anyways, I'm explaining this right now. Anyways, so gun ports, the reason it says 0 out of 2 is because it already has 2 guns installed, so it has 2 slots, and 0 free slots is essentially the idea. And you can see that up here, guns, beam laser, guns over here, beam laser, there's 2 of them, so they're already installed. So anyways, we can fit 2 guns in this thing and 0 turrets. And we can fit 0 guns in this thing and 1 turret. Huh. And what about the weapon space? This thing holds 20 tons of weapon space, and this thing holds 20 tons of weapon space. Okay. And engine space, this thing holds 40 tons of engine space, and this thing holds 40 tons of engine space as well. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, for one thing, guns, I'm not sure how useful they will be, because guns, you have to actually point your ship in the right direction, and as you can see, turning is only 87 when it's empty. 87 degrees per second of turning, which is fairly slow. So that means we'll have a hard time hitting anything, because we have to keep turning all the time to try to catch up with it as it runs around us. Starbarge has a turret, and turrets actually turn themselves. So you can point the Starbarge anywhere you want, and the turrets will keep a lock on your target that you're trying to fire at as well. Actually, how's the shields and the hull? Like, how's the strength of the ship? So up here you can see shields charge / max. So that's, the left one is, like, the 12 is how much charge per second it will fill out of the 600 charge that these shields can hold. So we keep, like, it'll keep every second, it'll replenish 12 shield points, and it has a 600 total. The hull is 1,000 strength, or 1,000 hull points, I guess you could say. Hull points. Sorry, 1,000 hull points. Total hull strength. Small ships are disabled when their hull strength drops below 50%. Larger ships are disabled at 20%. And what's it say about shields? Shield regeneration rate per second and total shields. Okay, so this thing can hold 600 tons of shield. Not 600 tons, sorry. 600 shield units and 1,000 hull units. This thing holds 1,200 shield units and 300 hull units. So actually, if we add these up, the total of these, they do actually get hit at different rates, but let's just keep it simple. So the total of these 1,500 points, and the total of this is 1,600 points, 1,600 points. So it's possible that the star barge might actually be stronger, although it's slower, so it can't move out of the way as easily. I think that I'm actually going to go for the star barge. It sounds like the hardest ship to handle because it goes so slowly. So I think, you know what? I think it's going to be a great time for a challenge, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and buy our ship. Click buy over here. Enter a name for your brand new star barge, or leave it blank to use a randomly chosen name. You know what? I'm going to call it, okay, let's be like super creative, like Star Barge 1. There we go. Okay, Star Barge 1. So we're good to go with that. We have now bought our new ship. Let's leave the spaceport. With some trepidation, you leave the shipyard owner your money and take your new ship for a test drive, piloting it out of the shipyard and onto a spare landing pad by the spaceport. Then you get out and look the ship over a bit more closely. You're busy polishing out a few rusts and spots. Here, okay, hang on. We just bought a ship for like 400-ish thousand credits. A new ship for 400,000 credits, which we didn't have. We had to get a loan for that, and now it's got rust spots. Our ship has rust spots on a new ship. That I want my money back. That's not like okay. Anyways, let's keep going. Apparently, our ship has rust spots. So you are busy polishing. You are busy polishing out a few rust spots with a piece of steel wool, when an old man in grease-stained coveralls walks up. Nothing quite like buying your very first starship, he says. Yeah, I'm still... Okay, we have three options for what to say here. So this is how the story, basically, how it changes as you're doing things. So we could say, yeah, I'm still kind of in shock over how much money I spent. Or we could say, well, I don't plan to get too attached to this one. I'll be flying something much nicer before long. Or beat it, old timer, I've got more important things to do than chat with you. That is rude. Okay, we won't be saying that. Okay, so option 1 or option 2. Yeah, I'm still kind of in shock over how much money I spent. Or, well, I don't plan to get too attached to this one. I'll be flying something much nicer before long. Now, I do plan to be flying something much nicer before long, but I'm kind of in shock over we spent so much money for a faulty ship. A ship with, rust spots on it. That, I'm kind of in shock over that. So, let's go ahead and click enter on that one. He grins. I know the feeling. It's a crime how much interest the banks charge to first-timers. And by the way, I'm trying a bit of a Western-style accent, like the Western movies and stuff, and I find them a lot of fun, basically. I just want to be clear that I'm not trying to like make fun of Western accents or whatever, but they're a lot of fun. Anyways, he grins. I know the feeling. It's a crime how much interest the banks charge to first timers. It's been that way ever since when I first started out even. You're a captain? You ask. Was, he says. Sold off my fleet a few days ago and I already miss it. But it was time. Time for me to retire. His voice trails off, then his face lights up. Say, any chance I could hitch a ride with you? Maybe show you the ropes? Give you some pointers? I could pay you, of course. So we could say, sure, where are you going to? Or we could say, sorry, I'd rather figure things out on my own. You know what? That's a question. And we shall find out next episode. So hopefully you enjoyed the video so far. And hopefully, we haven't really gotten far in the game yet, so we haven't really gotten into it and stuff like that very much. We're just sort of getting in the preliminary stuff. Next time we're gonna get started and actually go and do some things and get on with the game and start flying around and all kinds of different things. So yeah, so hopefully you're enjoying the series so far, and come back next time if you want to see more, and see you later. Bye bye.